Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson. So today we're doing toekomende tyd, which also means future tense. So this one is a fun one because it is just exactly like verlede tyd, but instead of het, you're going to have sal, and instead of ge, the main verb is going to move to the end all by itself. Okay, so we're quickly going to get into it because I want to show you how you can get it right each and every time. And I'm going to show you two ways that they can trick you. And I want to show you that it's not really a trick. There's an easy way of getting around it so that you make sure that you get your marks. All right, just like verlede tyd, there are two things to learn here, and one of them is the fact that sal needs to now be in the second position and the main verb goes to the end. Okay, let's quickly look at our first example. Our first example says, Annie vang 'n vis. Okay, so Annie is going to be our subject. So the rules of Stompie still apply. So Stompie says you start with the subject, meaning the person or the thing doing something, and then vang is going to be your main verb because she's catching the fish, and then 'n vis is the thing that she's doing, which is in this case the object. All right. So just like with verlede tyd, when you apply the rules, everything is going to work out just fine. So you needed to add sal in the second position in the sentence, and you needed to move the main verb to the end. So with this example, Annie vang 'n vis, in the future it will say Annie sal 'n vis vang. Just like that. That is the base level of what toekomende tyd can be. Sorry, in my mind I have toekomstige tyd and toekomende tyd. Sometimes both of them come out. All right, so this is as complicated as it can get. Now, let me show you a few examples so that you can see how they can complicate this for you. But again, once you've mastered this, there's no other way that they can complicate it for you. So let's use our same example. So Annie vang 'n vis. All right, so now they're going to add môre. Môre means tomorrow. And tomorrow in our context means now in the future because we're doing future tense. So this is the only way that they can complicate it for you. If you start with môre, it will shift positions with the subject. So remember, the subject always starts the sentence. But if they say start with môre, then môre and Annie are going to swap. But sal will still be in the second position. Now, when I work with students, when I'm tutoring them, they always want to put will. Will comes from now the English, she or he will do this thing in the future. Now, I took this from an example so that you can see how this is going to work. So this is what I would call an easier version of how they can complicate things for you. So the question says, skryf die sin oor in die teenwoordige tyd. So I didn't have time to find one that says in die toekomende tyd. So we're going to ignore here where it says teenwoordige tyd, and we're going to take this sentence and put it in the toekomende tyd. Okay, so it says, Ouma het vir haar kleinkinders 'n storie gelees. So, het and ge is telling us that this sentence is in the past tense or in die verlede tyd. Okay, so what we need to do now is that we need to put sal here in the place of het, and we need to remove the ge because we don't need it. Okay, that's the one way of doing it, and that's if you're a little bit more advanced. If you're not, I would suggest that you take it back to the present tense, teenwoordige tyd, and then only convert it to toekomende tyd. So if you take it back to the present tense, it's going to say, Ouma lees vir haar kleinkinders 'n storie. Okay, so then if you are now going to take it directly to the toekomende tyd, it's going to say, Ouma sal vir haar kleinkinders 'n storie lees. As easy as that. Okay, because you replace the second position het with sal, and you replace the last position, that gelees, you remove the ge so that it no longer is in the past tense, and now it's in the future tense. Now we're going to get to what I would consider a slightly harder version, but not completely undoable. The question says, skryf die sin in die toekomende tyd. Byvoorbeeld, dit reën hard. And then in the future, dit sal hard reën. So as you can see, they took the second position is now sal, and they took the main verb and put it at the end. Okay, so now the one that they want you to do is almal moet water spaarsamig gebruik. The reason why I'm saying this is a slightly harder version is the fact that they added moet. So in English, this would say everyone must use water sparingly. Okay, so the first complication is moet, which is a hulpwerkwoord. It means that it's not a main verb, but it helps the main verb. Okay. Then the second slight complication, especially if you're an English student, is the word gebruik. So if you do not know what the word gebruik means, it means use, okay? And it comes with a ge already. But that ge does not mean past tense. It's just part of the word. It's not a prefix, okay? So gebruik is actually a standalone word. So now the complication is, what do I do with this moet? Because the rule says I must move my main verb to the end. Now, because here you have a helping word, now the helping word is going to join the main verb at the end, and you are still going to add sal as the second position, like so. Okay, so almal sal, you're still following the rules, water spaarsamig moet gebruik. So this moet is now helping this one, and they must stay together. You will see in Afrikaans there's a lot of hulpwerkwoorde, and once you do werkwoorde, you need to know what they are so that when they come up, you know what to do with them. Okay, so this is as far as they can go, in my opinion. But if you have questions, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, you are now ready to write this test and make sure that you get your mark for anything that they may ask about toekomende tyd. Good luck.